See, you're sneaking over already.
He's still turning the lights on, but I'm here to tell you that this is quite the day because I revived and came down here yesterday because I have a visitor coming to my house to stay, and I might bring him down here. So I actually cleaned up his apartment so it would at least pass inspection. And he was, you know, when I come to clean his apartment, he, you know, I'm apt to say things like, that place looked like a big pen, and, you know, and he's sitting there acting like he's taking bullets, you know. And
Wait a minute. The President of the United States doesn't show up that often, okay? So, I mean, you want to get my place cleaned up, and if the President doesn't like it the way it is, you know, like, so what? Right? Tell him who the high mucky muck's going to be, right?
And I says, what's the matter with you? You're getting your apartment cleaned up. And I even took the rugs down, the throw rugs, and washed them. So you can see it was a big day for me yesterday.
Yes, it was.
Because I'm just barely walking upright without hanging on to something. I found out the hardest thing that man ever did was stand upright and walk around. Because that is what is beyond me right now. Especially if I walk out in 100 and something degrees of heat. Walking upright is not possible for very long. And so I've had to ask him to get my medications because I can't even walk upright, let alone ride the bus. So I have to do something that I can do. Hanging onto the walls, I was able to mop the floor. And then of course he was naturally worried that I was killing myself. But I said, no, my grandkid.
I told you, if you drop dead and I have to drag you back to your apartment.
Yeah. He's afraid he would have to load me in my car. I don't want the police
coming in here and seeing my dirty apartment.
And, you know, but I said, no, I have to get this apartment cleaned up. And then I went home and I was trying to get my apartment today to pass muster for my grandson and I hate to tell you this, but my toilet seat, he removed my toilet seat, which was the old standard heavy wood. And I had the bright idea of getting a soft one like he got. Well, the soft one is not as heavy, and the screws in it, one of them got lost. So therefore, my toilet top, at first it went kind of ski-wampus, so when I sat down, I wouldn't even hardly be...
Went where?
Well, one side of it, the screw was gone, so it kind of turned.
What was that word?
And I wouldn't ski-wampus.
I never heard
and
that.
Then I wouldn't hardly hit the water. Oh, and so finally the other screw got lost.
So
then it was just nothing but a loose top that I would have to place when I sat down.
Now, wait a minute.
Nobody's toilet.
What you're trying to tell me is,
Nobody's.
I've been listening to this, talking to the camera. You have a screw loose, is that right?
In my toilet, the top, you know,
you
the
said
round.
You got a screw loose. I gotta go along with that.
And my daughter, 2 years ago, even brought me the screws. 2 years of apathy. I'd look at it, I'd think, oh, I can't.
Here's a word she just found in the dictionary. She's
I can't clean
knock me out with. I'm so apathetic.
Well, yes. So think about it. If you have an old person you haven't visited for a long time that you're related to, you might, you know,
We're not related.
Well, I mean, if you out there have some old person that, because apathy is
Don't
deadly.
Keep trying to help me.
It is
I'm getting old
something that kills people. He doesn't have any relatives. That's why he's so apathetic. He has such a serious case of apathy.
Well, no, I do have relatives, except that.
Yeah, where are they?
That's what I don't care about.
He has none.
I I did not care about where
No
they are.
children, and I've got 4 children, and I've even got great-grandchildren. So when my grandson, and we arranged for him to come over and spend the night so he could be picked up by my son,
That's
who's
tomorrow.
visiting here in
Tomorrow.
the morning, and taken to Utah. So I'm helping with the whole process by having him here so my son can see me at the same time that he picks him up. Isn't that wonderful? And so I'm part of the process again. I'm part of the living, you know. And so, guess what? I went home and all by myself I put the 2 screws in the toilet top.
Well, you're not as screwed
And
as
now-
we thought you were, right? I could have
I
sworn you
didn't think
were.
I could do that. But trying to get him to come up there and do it was just, that would have been a worse
Now
job.
wait a minute.
Worse.
You do not allow me in your apartment.
No, I'd have to allow him access to my apartment, which I don't like doing. I don't like to get any ideas about, you know, that is off limits. So I didn't ask him. I did it myself.
Ugh.
So my poor grandson doesn't have to come in there and look at what kind of a setup his grandmother has got in her toilet bowl.
Well, you know, I remember that when I was young. I would go over to my grandpa and grandma's house, which was right across the alley. You know, and the first thing I would do is I would inspect their toilet. I really did. I would say, Grandma, I need to go to the toilet. Could I go inspect your toilet? I
Oh,
was
you didn't
upstairs.
really? Did you really? You
Well,
did.
I had to do. Would I lie to you? What? Are you?
Listen, I was raised with outdoor wooden toilets
Are
that
you
we made
questioning-
ourselves.
Are you questioning my veracity here? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Sounds fishy
Whatever
to me.
that word means, I don't know.
Your grandmother and grandfather probably had a toilet that was totally functioning, a bathroom, right?
It was
And-
indoors too.
Indoors.
Upstairs.
Yes.
How about that? They also had
My
one downstairs
Grandma and
too.
Grandpa had
Upstairs
outdoor
and downstairs
toilets. Everybody
toilets.
in town had them. So anyway, I'm so happy to think that I have done this. I've come out of my apathy enough to put these 2 screws in this toilet. And, you know, because I would think I need to save my energy to write my memoirs, to write my blog. I can't waste it on, you know, just humdrum living, you know, little details like that.
No, wait a minute. I told you I really did appreciate the fact that she brings down her own mop. Yeah, I have a high quality
Yes.
mop. It does all kinds of electric. It's got electric in it, you know. Oh, that's not good. I want one that's got tentacles all over the place, you know. I've seen this woman do this once or twice. All right, maybe 6 times in 6 years. But once you start, you get a woman with a hair somewhere. If you start messing with them, they get extremely upset, don't they? I mean, not only will they get upset with you, they'll get upset with the world. I am going to do this whether you want me to do it or not. I am going to clean whether you want me to or not. And just try to stop me, big boy. Oh, okay. You want to go ahead and do it? Fine. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I mean,
That's right. No man can stand up to a woman that's got a mop in her hand and
That's
she is
exactly
going to
right.
clean up his big pen of an apartment.
well, it's only the kitchen area. It's about 10 by 10.
Well, I remember my mom when she'd come upstairs and, oh, this place looks like a tornado hit it. Oh, your cats on blah, 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 you know. Oh, we'd all be dodging. You know. I remember one time my mother
Don't make me have to
threw a
throw
whole
this on you
bucket
again. I tell you, boy, that's gonna hurt.
of potatoes at us because we hadn't mopped the floor. And she'd just take those potatoes. Woo! 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 Oh my God! I'll never forget that time she attacked us with some potatoes.
Was that the year of the big potato attack or something
Yes,
like that?
that was a potato attack.
I've heard of Ireland having the big potato famine when they sent all the Irish over here. That was the big potato attack. That was nice.
And
You know how go ahead.
I did want to mention that my brother-in-law did lose his leg yesterday. That was another historic occasion because I was so sympathetic with my sister who was waiting 10 hours after he got in, waiting for surgery.
Listen to this one.
With his leg in agony. And, you know, he said, well, maybe the doctor just wanted to make sure that he was ready to lose that leg.
I thought it was psychologically perfectly perfect. You know,
well.
We'll let him sit here for 10 hours. And by that time, he'll want that son of a bitch cut off and do it now.
Well, yeah, he was very apt not to say, well, he could have done something. He could have saved my leg. But no, everybody was
agreed save his leg.
After 10 hours,
just
cut it off. Just cut it off. So now my sister is the first wife in the family that's had a husband with his leg cut off.
Well, I'm not sure. You know, military gives you medals for all sorts of bizarre things, you know. One of them Purple Heart if you got shot in the, you know, when you're in the Army or something like that, you get a Purple Heart. What did they give you when you get your leg cut off? Did your wife give you a little medal or something like that?
Well, the family was all gathered, you know, to give his support. And his wife wants him to stay in rehab. But she says he probably won't do it. He's got his own idea of rehab. And, you know,
I've got my idea of rehab, too.
You know, we call him Snarl. And he doesn't like to stay in rehab because he can't snarl. He can't really work up a snarl like he can when he's at home, so...
And what is that wonderful little catchphrase that you use for me, right?
We have these pet names for our husbands, you know, Snarl, Grumpy, and...
No, wait a minute. What's that other one?
Growl. That was my dad. He was Growl.
You know what my nickname is? Dick. Now, work with that, will you? Work with that, baby.
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. This is Doc. Some Doc, all right. There's times when... But anyway, I think that's all the news, but I'm anticipating my grandson is going to come over. I'm going to ask him, he wants to make a video. I'm not going to push him. He may come down here and make it, or he might want to make it upstairs, or he might just say, no, Grandma, I don't want to make a video. So, but he knows
maybe he'll want to make one with me. Without you being here. Oh, you know, a mono, you know.
Right.
You know,
well, they have somewhat of a relationship.
Yes, we do.
This boy,
I'm pretty sure we're males.
Dad was in the Navy when he was growing up, born even. He only saw him once before he went in. So this boy, he's kicked around enough that his parents allow him in his presence without giving me a cuss and telling me they don't want that happen again. So, and he has not behaved, you know, he's...
I have never molested anybody yet.
I don't talk about that. I'm talking about negativity,
I see.
Attacking, verbal, but you know, this kid, he's very...
No, wait a minute. Just because the last time he was here, what, a year ago, and he came in and he sit down, and I said, would you like a beer? You almost had a heart attack. Listen, when I was growing up, if my dad said, would you like to have a beer at 15? Yeah. I'm not going to give him a six-pack. I'm a whole different generation. Besides...
You're not going to give him a beer. I hope you know that.
I know that. I haven't even offered
You better not even offer him. But you know, the first time that he ever had anything
I don't offer anybody beer anymore. You know, the last time I offered somebody a beer, you know how dangerous that got.
Oh, I know. But the first time that he ever had anything to do with my grandson, Dante was doing a picture, and he painted it black. Well, for some kooky, crazy reason, he didn't like this. So he told him, get out of my apartment. I don't like this black picture. Both Dante and I were just dumbfounded.
Well, you know what the picture was?
What?
A grave
A grave.
with a tombstone on it.
Oh, he was into a morbid stage. I don't know, you know, you
Oh,
don't.
I wasn't particularly interested in that picture.
Yeah, well, he behaved worse than the kid, believe me.
Oh, yes, I did.
Boy, he wasn't allowed to even get near him for 2 or 3 years after that. But anyway, you know, he's have to watch him.
I noticed that in your
I'm waiting now.
In your inimicable way, you have not commented on the fact that we are basically not clashing, but you know, I have black shorts on and white legs. You have red legs and this on, and I have a black hat on.
You have a few sprinkles of, you know, he's shedding. When you're, you know, when you get old, your skin starts flaking off. All sorts of strange things happen.
Listen, I haven't called flaking for a long time.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, that's it. That's the rundown. I'm waiting now for my grandson to call. He's asked me, don't kids or your grandson know to call and let you know when he's coming? He'll let me know.
Well, here's one of the problems I perceive it to be. One of the ways that I always, even with all the stepkids, you know, your mom was throwing potatoes at you, you know, and things like that. The way I got around that was very easily, this is, if any of you stepkids are watching this, you know what I'm talking about. I barely even stepped into the room, you know, because I'm going, Mom, and she didn't really care that much, you know, so if it was messy, it was messy. Besides, what am I supposed to be doing in somebody else's room and telling, oh, pick that up, pick that up, pick that up, pick that up, pick that up. You don't make a lot of brownie points, you know, with your kids if you do that. As a matter of fact, I'm sure she didn't really too keen on her mother because her mother was a oh, that's okay. I mean,
she was well, I did learn how. I used to get a spanking every day until I learned how to please her.
Didn't she give you colitis or something like that? You couldn't go to the bathroom for 2 weeks and nobody knew why, right?
My dad would say, did you get a spanking today? Yeah. But my mom would say, yes, they did, and they're not going to be spoiled like you were. So see what I mean, what we were up against?
Well, I don't know. I mean, but I know one thing. It's going to be cooler in Utah than it is here. You know, so.
That's right.
Oh,
that's
crap,
right.
it's hot. And what's worse than that, you poor little rascals out there, it's what they call monsoon. It hasn't rained here. It rains across the street, but it hasn't rained here. And then humidity goes from 10% up to 60%. I might as well be living back in the South, you know, down in the bayou or a horrible St. Louis or someplace like that. Yee.
Well, I'm very excited, so I can't spend any more time with you. I'm all excited about my grandson coming, so I'm sorry. Cut you off. You're cut off. And
I've been cut off for years.
Bye.
What are you going to cut off?